You know things are getting out of hand when a liberal like Whoopi Goldberg is calling out the left for its shenanigans and its ridiculous antics to oust Trump supporters. Now, before we get into this video, I'm gonna give you some context. So apparently there are some Hollywood actors, who especially the name of Deborah Messing, I think that's how you pronounce it. She wants a list of actors and actresses, people in Hollywood and in the entertainment industry, who are supporters of Trump. That way, they can be blacklisted, and they can potentially, they can be at risk of losing their jobs in general. The thing is, though, is that this has happened before. I'll tell you right now. I'll give you a little history lesson. It happened in the 1950s. It was called McCarthyism. You know, Senator McCarthy, who basically went on television and said that here I have a list of all communist people living in America and all this other nonsense, right? So what happened? They went on a witch hunt. Anyone who was accused of being a communist, they didn't require any evidence to prove they were communists. Just a simple accusation was good enough. A lot of people lost their jobs. Hollywood was heavily prominent in this instance. Hollywood was purged of anyone who was accused of being a communist. Even if they didn't have any evidence, those people lost their jobs. In many cases, many of them committed suicide, because being accused of being a communist during the era of McCarthyism was ruining your life for all eternity. It was that bad. And what they're doing right now is exactly that. But they think they're doing the right thing because they're fighting Nazis and they're fighting fascists. When in reality, they're just trying to, they're basically saying that you cannot have a different opinion besides the ones we tell you to. And I kind of let you know what kind of predicament Hollywood is in right now. You cannot have a different opinion or a dissenting opinion without the risk of losing your job. I mean, look at Tim Allen, for example. Tim Allen, from what I've read and from what I've seen, that guy is probably like a conservative. I think he's got one of his shows canceled because he was vocal about supporting Donald Trump. And even in a recent press tour, when it came to promoting Toy Story 4, he was accused of being a racist because he didn't know how to play the card game known as spades. I don't know how to play spades, so I don't know how that has anything to do with being racist. But you get the point. Hollywood at this point has become such a liberal echo chamber that even Whoopi Goldberg is saying you guys are crazy, and literally blacklisting Trump supporters is a terrible idea. So the article is from The Wrap, and it reads, Whoopi Goldberg calls out Deborah Messing for seeking a list of Hollywood Trump supporters, not a good idea. Messing sought the publication of a list of a fundraiser attendees over the weekend. Whoopi Goldberg cautioned fellow entertainers Deborah Messing and Eric McCormack of Will and Grace against calling for a list of Hollywood conservatives during The View on Tuesday. Last time people did this, people ended up killing themselves, so even Whoopi Goldberg knows her history, and I applaud her for that. Goldberg said, referencing the Hollywood blacklist of 1947, this is not a good idea, okay? Your idea of who you don't want to work with is your personal business, and yes, that is true. Do not encourage people to print out lists, because the next list that comes out, your name will be on, and then people will be coming after you. And I think that Goldberg is hitting it right on literally right in the center, right on the bullseye. Right now, people like Deborah Messing and Eric McCormack are going to be praised for it. They're going to be heroes, right? And then maybe next year they'll be the one on the chopping block, right? Kind of like the Joker said, right? The Joker says to Batman in the Dark Knight in the interrogation scene. Joker tells Batman, "Don't talk like one of them. You're not, even if you like to be. To them you're just a freak. They need you right now, but when they don't, they'll cast you out. See, like a leper. You see what I mean?" And Joker, when things are things are bad when even Joker starts to make sense. I mean, Joker even said, Batman, they need him right now. But when things go down south, they won't need him. Trust me, they'll need him right now. But when they don't, they'll just cast them out. You know what I mean? And even Joker even says, these people, their code is just a bad joke. Dropped at the first sign of trouble. I mean, they're only as good as the world allows them to be. I'll show you. When the chips are down, these civilized people, they'll eat each other. And I think that's the thing right now. Whoopi Goldberg is literally calling it out right now. Right now, Deborah Messing, I think it's Deborah Messing. Yeah, Deborah Messing and Eric McCormack. Right now, they're saviors. They're saviors. They're champions of fighting against fascism. And then next year they'll probably be on the chopping block. You never know. Hollywood left, they're known for eating themselves alive, and it's a common thing. The left eating each other, Obama calling the left and then the Democrats urging to not initiate a circular firing squad. Yeah, when even Obama is literally warning us from the left, you know something is wrong. When someone like Whoopi Goldberg, who was an open, who was an open, like who openly criticizes the president, when she's calling out liberal Hollywood for their nonsense, you know something is going on, and it's something, and what's going on is not good. But like I said, McCarthyism that happened back in the day. Guess what? People, they were accused of communism and they lost their jobs without even like any sort of evidence. Now you call people a Trump supporter and eventually you can lose your job in this case, right? That's why the whole point of this is fear. Fear and intimidation keep people silent. And then when people are silent, people who are Trump supporters and they're silent because they do not want to voice their opinions, the liberals are shocked when Trump wins. When Trump won 2016, they were shocked. They're thinking, how did Trump win? Like, I didn't know anyone who was a Trump supporter. You probably did. You just didn't hear them voice out their opinions because they feared that you would, oust them or you would cast them out. So don't be surprised if Trump wins re-election, because a lot of people are keeping quiet until Trump wins again. That is, if he does win. Like I said, we just don't know. Anything can happen. Goldberg called for voting a great right before calling on Messing and McCormick to study the history of the blacklist. And yes, they should. Co-host Joy Behar, like I said, I mispronounced the name, I'm sorry, agreed, saying she was against the type of thing. I do believe that you should know if a company gave a lot of money to Trump, she said, but when it's individuals, it's stalking and you're starting to endanger that person's life. And yeah, Joy is, to some degree, she is right. If it's a company, that's one thing. A company has a lot of people, they have the numbers. But when you're talking about one individual, you're talking about people harassing them, stalking them on Twitter, potentially threatening them, right? Look at what happened with Tim Pool. The guy is one person because he was sponsoring an event in Pittman, and some guy showed up to his house twice, okay? Again, one individual is one thing, a company is another. So if it was a company, by all means, if they wanted to, that's fine. I think she does make sense here. But when it comes to individuals themselves, that lies the problem. Sonny Hostin, I think that's pronounced Hostin, another of the 5 hosts, questioned why someone attending a fundraiser wouldn't be proud enough to let it be known that they had to put their money behind a candidate. The fundraiser is being held in Beverly Hills on September 17th, 5 days before the Emmys are held in LA, with a minimum of 1,000 donations required to attend. Messing called for a list of all attendees to be published, saying that the public has the right to know. They do not. The public doesn't have a right to know who they fundraise. So what? Does it mean that Hollywood celebrities can openly voice their support for people like Bernie Sanders, like Cardi B supporting Bernie Sanders, people supporting Warren? That's perfectly fine. But when people want to support Trump, then suddenly it's bad. Like I said, McCarthyism. If we don't know our history, we're bound to repeat it. It happened from the conservative side when it happened. Now it's coming from the left, and it's the left who constantly preaches, do not repeat history, do not elect Nazism. Look what happened with Germany. Look what happened to the Jews in the Holocaust. Do not elect a Nazi into office. They're the ones telling us not to repeat history, and yet they're literally repeating history right now. They want to blacklist people because of political opinions, and I think that's wrong. McCormick followed up with a similar call, saying, so the rest of us can be clear about who we don't want to work with. Dude, if you don't want to work with anyone, dude, that's up to you. That's your own personal business. If you want to throw away the role of a lifetime because your co-star is a Trump supporter, then that's your fault. Okay, I don't think you should be hiring people based on their political opinions. I think you should be hired based on skill, not on political opinions. Okay. Reps for the 2 actors did not return requests for comment. Goldberg and Behar, I think, again, I apologize if I'm butchering the pronunciation. I apologize. Found an unlikely on-air ally in conservative actor John O'Hurley, who said Monday he was embarrassed for Messing and McCormick. Right? That concludes the article. But like I said, it's really sad when it's the liberals, not the liberals, but when it's the left saying that we shouldn't repeat history with Trump, that we shouldn't elect a Nazi into the United States presidency, and yet they're here repeating history. Like I said, if you're not aware of McCarthyism, it was probably like a really dark time. It was a witch hunt, kind of like the Salem witch trials, where you could be accused of being a witch. You didn't need a trial. You were just accused of a witch and your life was over. You're hanged. That's it. In the case of McCarthyism, if you were accused of being a communist, your career was over. You couldn't get a job. You would be blacklisted from life in many cases. Yes, and you would. If you were accused of being a communist, no one would want to hire you. No one would want to give you a chance to prove yourself that you weren't a communist, because in many cases, these were just witch hunts. If someone hated you and they blamed you for being a communist, they wouldn't ask for evidence. They would just assume they're correct. And what happened to Hollywood? It happened the same way. People were constantly being accused of being a communist left and right. And guess what happened? People lost their jobs. People committed suicide because their careers were done. Okay, no one, even outside of the entertainment industry, would hire these people because they were accused of being communists, even though when evidence was never even presented. Okay, and that's the thing. When Whoopi Goldberg, a liberal, an open critic of Donald Trump, is calling out the nonsense in Hollywood and the left, you know things are going downhill. You know the left is losing its mind. When people like the Joker are literally making sense in today's world, saying that right now they need you, but eventually they're gonna turn against you. Guess what? That's kind of scary. When people that are crazy or are perceived to be crazy, and when they start making sense, that's really scary. Whoopi Goldberg, she's a critic of Trump, and again, I can't tell her anything about that. She has every right to do so. But for a liberal to be calling out the left for their nonsense, that's something. You know the left is losing their minds and they're in the wrong here. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think Whoopi Goldberg is right when she says that that it's not a good idea to literally blacklist Trump supporters in Hollywood? Do you think she's right in the sense that they were literally repeating history? Do you think we are repeating history? And do you think it's hypocritical of the left to be saying that we shouldn't repeat history when it comes to electing Trump, in office, right? To avoid re-electing a fascist into office and avoid re-electing another Hitler in the United States, and to avoid repeating what happened with Germany, and yet they're repeating one of the darkest moments in American history when it comes to McCarthyism. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button and hit the notification button as well, so we never miss an upload. But again, the best thing you can do is share the video, because YouTube likes to derank independent political commentary, and this video is criticizing the nonsense of the left. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be deranked. So if you like this video and you believe other people should hear what I have to say, then share the video, and I really much appreciate it, because that lets me know that you want other people to hear what I have to say. The last segment, we're focusing on Dave Chappelle. Yes, another video on Dave Chappelle. This one's regarding Rotten Tomatoes, and it's going to be talking about what people perceive, what people want us to believe is good, and what actual people believe is good. So again, if you guys can stick around for that, I'll see you guys in a bit. But if you cannot, hopefully you guys will see the next segment in a little bit. All right? If you guys cannot stick around, hope you guys can see the segment on your own time. But if you can stick around, I'll see you guys in a little bit.